there's been a super dramatic increase in unhoused or ill-housed youth down here.
A new report says child poverty rates in BC went up after the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, and advocates are calling on the provincial and federal governments to strengthen income support programs, saying those are key to reducing child poverty. In its 2023 child poverty report card, First Call says 1 in 7 BC children are living in poverty.
Last year's was 2020 data, and this is 2021 data. So we learned a big lesson in that, because in 2020 it did drop a fair amount because of this CERB or the pandemic income supports that were flowing into families in lots of places. So in 2021, some of those were withdrawn and they were starting to dry up. There's still some, and now the child poverty rate is going up again. So we can see the dramatic effect of income supports for low-income families.
What we have down here now is a quotient of youth that are having difficulty connecting with any points of healthcare service.
Gary Davison with the Heart Tattoo Society says he's been supporting the community in Vancouver's downtown east side for decades, and says outreach workers need to be more proactive in building relationships with younger people at risk of becoming unhoused, coming to the neighborhood, and connecting them with resources from healthcare to education.
Especially post-pandemic with a lot of the protocols, this inner core got kind of left to its own amends. There was a realignment of all service directives, and at that same time there was an noticeable increase every year on the amount of youth down here.
First Call says what needs to happen is for the government to improve income support, especially for families with children with disabilities, and also creating initiatives targeted at Indigenous youth and kids from racialized groups who are overrepresented in the poverty data. Minister Sheila Malcolmson says with this in mind, the BC government is tabling another poverty reduction bill expected to come in the legislature's spring session.
We want everybody to get their best start. That's why we've increased income assistance rates 5 times already, having them being stalled out and frozen for a really long time. And that has had the impact, among other investments, of reducing child poverty by 50% already.
According to First Call's report, BC's child poverty rate was 14.3%, just over 1 percentage point lower than the national average. In Vancouver, Kier Junos, City News.